We are finally on part 4 of how I healed my depression naturally. Here we go. Hello everyone and welcome to Freedom Friday, where you learn how to free yourself and live your dreams. I'm Darienne from DariaWaken.com, and I took a really few week, like a month-long hiatus without really telling anybody. But if you follow me on Mission Love and Instagram at Darienne Empire, then you probably know what's been going on with me. And I did actually write, if you guys follow me, if you're actually signed up for my Freedom Friday weekly videos to get in your inbox, then I have not emailed you. And I did write you a big long email and I just never sent it because I was supposed to proofread the next day. Big long story, but I have a surprise. If you don't already know, I have not announced this on YouTube yet, so I figured I would. And I have to show you the surprise. So here it comes. That is not a food baby. That is a real baby. I am 4 months preggers. I have a little life force growing inside of me. Being awesome in there, doing what it does best, growing like arms and legs and stuff. No, the arms and legs are already grown, growing brain stuff and internal organs. I'm totally knocked up, hardcore, like for real ski. And it has been a really fucking rough road, and I'm like really hot, and I'm starting to get super exhausted because I already shot this video once, and for some reason my video camera, my phone just stopped shooting it, so I'm having to do this again, and this takes a lot of energy out of me, which is why I haven't been shooting these videos, because it takes a whole shitload of energy out of me. I've been really physically going through a lot. I've been basically bedridden for practically 2 months. Just starting to really get my energy back and kind of feel myself, but I am still exhausted a lot. The last 2 days I haven't gotten much sleep. It's been quite a learning experience. If you guys have been following me, don't mind the trucks outside. There's a bunch of trucks outside and my window's wide open. But if you've been following me for the last 2 years now, you know that my relationship has been extremely up and down. We have reflected each other's egos back and forth to us, one another, one time and time again. And now that we are bringing a child into the world, shit just got real. And as much as I, at times, didn't want to have to learn the lessons that he is here to teach me, my spiritual partner, my current spiritual partner, is here to teach me. As much as I have wanted to really just say, fuck this, and leave, I got knocked up. And I didn't even think I could get pregnant anymore. So that's a whole nother video as to how I got knocked up, because I actually had a premonition about my pregnancy before I ever got pregnant. And I don't have premonitions. So it was my first premonition. It was the realest premonition I've ever had, but I will talk about that. Because, again, don't mind the truck, because I think that I can help a lot of people that may be trying to get pregnant. I got pregnant by accident, but again, I didn't think I could get pregnant. I didn't think I could have kids because of some physical issues I've had in the past. So, newsflash, I can. And I'll make a video about that later. But I want to move on and to our part 4. I'm still talking about all of these parts of how I healed my depression naturally the first time. And I've really had I've had to have a lot of that depression come back to really sort of learn some of the things that I didn't quite learn the first time. And I have, I've been kind of backtracking just myself. And what did I do right the first time? And I've been really going back to basics, both in spirituality and my life. I've been shedding a lot of my responsibilities that I just physically, energetically cannot do anymore. It takes a lot of energy to grow a human being. So I haven't had a lot of the physical energy. I'm in my 2nd trimester now. I have a lot more of the physical energy, but like I said, even now I'm getting exhausted just sitting here talking to you guys. Ooh. So that's okay though. We're just going to be here in the moment with one another, right? We're just going to be here in the moment. And this is what this is teaching me to do, is just really be right here, because I can't be anywhere else, because I don't frankly have the energy for it. But I do want to give a million thanks to you guys, because y'all have been blowing up on YouTube. Oh my God. Like, I'm nearing 10,000 hits on my 10 Signs You're an Empath video, which is incredible, which means that I've connected with so many more of you empaths, so many more people like me. And we need one another. We need to empaths unite. A lot of people have been joining my Rockin' Empath group and chit-chatting and giving advice, asking questions, getting advice, and really just supporting each other and loving each other. And it's growing. It's slow growing. I mean, I have not really worked at all in like a month. And so the fact that all of this stuff is just taken on a life of its own, that you guys are commenting like crazy on YouTube, that I've gained like hundreds of subscribers in the last few months, that I've literally done no work, it says a lot. It says to me that the work that I do has nothing to do with me. And that's what I love about it, I think, the most. That it is totally God's doing, the universe is doing, universal love's doing, and I just happen to be a vessel in that 15-minute video that I shot and putting it up on YouTube, and I did my job, and it's really just, it's taking on an entire life of its own, which lets me know that I have absolutely nothing to do with it, which is super awesome and humbling in a beautiful way. You know, it's the kind of humbling that makes you feel good. So let's go into part 4 of how the steps that I personally took to heal myself of my depression without drugs. Again, if you're already on drugs, if you are taking any sort of medications prescribed by your doctor, do not take it upon yourself to take yourself off of them. You can use this on top of traditional therapy, on top of Western medicine, on top of everything you're doing now. This is completely safe stuff to do. These are just methods that I'm using, are just really conscious shifts. It's really all. And some take a little bit more action, and some take a little bit more internal inventory and thought, and lack of thought, and things like that. So the next step for me that I took was self-discipline. Now, you are talking to like Mrs. Rebel without a cause. I do not like discipline. I do not like authority. I resist authority at all costs. And I have been like that for a very long time. I don't like when people tell me no. You know what? I don't mind when people tell me no, because I'm going to go get it myself. And that's just how I am. I'm a go-getter. Ain't nobody going to tell me nothing. I'm going to do what I want kind of person. I'm also an addict. And I have an addictive personality. And so self-discipline is a foreign thing for people that have addictive personalities and addictive tendencies and have been addicts in their lives. So, you know, one of our first few videos was about dropping all of your vices. Well, dropping all of your vices is, I mean, that's like quitting the vices, and I think I mentioned this in the video, quitting all of your vices it literally for me was step 2. And there's a lot of steps. It is one of the very beginning steps, quitting the vices. And it takes so much to do, but it's that real commitment to start to exude that self-discipline, like knowing that those cravings are going to come up. You know, like, let's be realistic, right? We're human beings. We have addictive personalities. When we quit our vices, we're still going to want them. It's why we fall off the wagon. It's completely natural. Our brain is literally programmed, literally, physiologically programmed to continue to go back to the only thing we know, which is the thing we're addicted to. So we have to expect that, okay? First and foremost, one of the ways to really practice self-discipline is to know yourself. You know you're an addict, or you know you have depression, and being depression is a form of addiction, being addicted to negative thoughts or being depressed, right? You know you have your vices. Don't kid yourself and think that you're going to wake up one day and be Superman and you're going to quit everything and the world's going to be perfect. Let's just be realistic, you know? And I'm the spiritual teacher that tells you that everything is love and everything is perfect. And you know what? The shit's going to hit the fan. Let's just be fucking honest. Right? Let's just be honest. You're going to have cravings. You're going to have them a lot. If you were a smoker of cigarettes like I was, you're going to want a cigarette every hour. If you smoke cigarettes every hour like I did, you're going to get a craving every hour. It's going to pull you and you're going to be like, I need to have a cigarette. When you get out of the shower, you're going to need a cigarette. When you eat food, you're going to need a cigarette. When you have sex, you're going to need a cigarette. When you go out drinking, you're going to need a cigarette. When you're stressed out, you're going to need to go outside and smoke yourself a cigarette. Your brain is going to go, it's time to smoke a cigarette. So you need to expect those things. If you're an alcoholic, when you go to the bar, you know, I was still going to the bar, and I really had to exude some self-discipline because my dream was to be a singer, and the places I could go to sing were in bars. So if you're in the bar, you know you're gonna be triggered. You have to expect that, okay? And you have to be prepared for it. And this is how we practice self-discipline, and we really get through it. I luckily, by the grace of God, discovered EFT in 2009. Now, I have been quit completely smoke-free, have not fallen off the wagon. Not one time have I taken one drag of a cigarette, not an electric cigarette, not nothing. I did the patch the first few weeks. I chewed the gum every time I had a craving, and I used this thing called EFT. And I used this thing called EFT for a very long time because I had a lot of cravings for a long time. And them patches are expensive, let me tell you. So once I did that, I found David Childerley and Gary Craig online, and I learned about EFT, emotional freedom techniques, where you do tapping on your acupressure points and you state affirmations that will start to rewire the neural pathways in your brain that say, when I take a shower, I need a cigarette. When I go to the bar, I need a beer. That's your brain taking over and saying, this is what I'm supposed to do now. It's the same when you drive and you don't even have to pay attention. It's the same, how your brain just kind of works on its own, right? That subconscious. That's because you have neural pathways, because you've driven so many times. That repetition has changed the chemicals in your brain and the physiology of your brain, and trained you to be able to drive on your own, or to be able to start using cigarettes or alcohol as a coping skill, or whatever the case may be. And EFT starts to rewire that. So I started doing EFT. So I expected the cravings. Every time I got the cravings, I would say, even though I have this craving, I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Even though I have this craving, I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Even though I have this craving, I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. This craving, this craving, this craving, this craving, this craving, this craving, and I would tap on the points. And if you don't know the points, you can go to DariaWaken.com. I have some videos on EFT. Go to my YouTube channel and search EFT. Go to DariaWaken.com, search EFT. There are you could probably just look up EFT tapping points. Or look up David Chitterly, who's one of my fave EFT practitioners. I am a trained EFT, becoming a practitioner. Not a practitioner yet, but I do use EFT with my clients. I use EFT with myself, and obviously I don't smoke. I've been 6 years completely smoke-free, and I don't even get cravings anymore, like at all. I actually think it's like really disgusting now, probably because I've done EFT, because that's what EFT does with cravings. It makes something that you once craved gross. I mean, literally, when I was in the class, I'm going on a little tangent right now, but when I was in the class, we worked specifically on cravings. So I was trained specifically I was trained in a lot of things, but one of the things that we specifically worked on was cravings. And I had a moment where we were eating cookies, and then the cookie was so delicious. And then we worked on the craving that we had for the cookie. And then within seconds, I ate the cookie and it was disgusting. It tasted gross to me after that, because I had changed just from a few things tapping and a few things speaking. I changed the neural pathways. I changed the chemicals in my brains that says, I want that. The euphoria, I was trying to say something else, but the euphoria that you experience when you get the craving, when you eat the cookie, when you drink the drink, when you smoke the cigarette, that euphoria through tapping will go away. So you don't experience the euphoria anymore, and you don't want the cigarette anymore eventually, or you don't want the whatever, the drugs, the alcohol. So self-discipline. Now, I do want to also point out, and I said this on my Facebook a little while ago, self-discipline, as reluctant as I have been to practice it in my lifetime, because I'm a rebel and I don't get in line for nobody. And a lot of us addicts are, you know it. We're living rebelliously. We're like, fuck the man. I'm gonna do what I want to do. We're, you know, in the gutters, up all night, snorting the coke, fucking who we want. We're doing whatever the fuck we want. We're doing basically the complete opposite of what society tells us we should do, because we're rebelling. So, trust me. Oh, I know, child. I know. If you are as deep in as I was as far as addiction goes, and with depression, there's definitely a level of resisting a lot, you know, resisting who the world wants us to be, and we go into a deep depression because we're trying to be what the world wants us to be or whatever. So what I've experienced through really exuding self-discipline, I've only experienced really wonderful, rewarding things. And as much as you're like, God, I really don't want to do this, there is something really beautiful about kind of holding back and taking things in increments and experiencing the richness of life. And when I started to exude self-discipline, and I started to work through those cravings, and I think I read somewhere that a craving only lasts like 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, and as long as you get through that, like if you can last that 2 to 5 minutes, do your EFT, get through it, you know what to expect, like it'll end, you know, this too shall pass. You won't be craving it forever. You just got to get through that moment, and it's a moment-to-moment thing. But when I have exuded self-discipline in my life, only really incredible things have happened to me, and I'm pretty sure that if you try it, the same may happen for you. So that is part 4 of how I healed my depression naturally. Maybe you could take some tips from it, maybe not. Maybe you can continue to watch throughout all of the parts. I don't know. But please, if this video has helped you, join the inspiration conversation and kind of inspire one another. Go to DariaWaken.com and comment below this video. Chat with me on YouTube. As you guys have been doing like crazy. So awesome. Follow me at Darienne Empire all throughout social media. And that's it. I will see you guys next week. I love you.